Hey guys, it's Bro You Whack, and by the time you're watching this video, Freya has finally left Overwatch! Out of all the three heroes that use a bow and arrow, she was definitely my favorite. The second, of course, being Echo when she copies Hanzo, and the third being Hanzo. And now we're gonna have to wait 3 whole weeks till she releases with Season 16. But for some people in the community, they don't really care. They could wait 3 years for her to release because it seems like some people in the community really didn't like her. And I would even go as far as to say a lot of people even hated her. And that's exactly what I want to do in today's video. I want to talk about the community's reaction, my own reaction, but more importantly, talk about ways that we can make Freya better when she releases with Season 16, because that's the whole point of her releasing early, is to try her out, get her a little pause on her, and make her a better hero. But you see, the one thing that a lot of people, so many people, surprisingly was nitpicking when it came to Freya is one thing that I don't think is actually going to get fixed when she releases, and that's her hero design. People say that she doesn't look like an Overwatch hero. They're saying that she's a Paladin's character, which don't disrespect my favorite bow and arrow hero like that. A lot of people say that she just has a boring design, not a lot of unique characteristics about her, not distinct features that really separate her, not a lot of cool colors. And when you look at her, okay, yeah, I can agree with that. When you look at classic characters like Cassidy, who's supposed to be a cowboy, they make him unique because he has a robotic arm. Sombra's a hacking Latina with a bright purple color palette with a shaved off hairdo. Even a recently released character like Juno has a distinct orange jacket contrasted by a teal jumpsuit, big Martian space boots, and a cute headpiece and hair design. Then we get to Freya, and she's woman. And then there's like nothing wrong with that, but in a world of Overwatch with candy-colored heroes and very distinct features, Freya really doesn't have any of that. She has a lot of dull colors, which like kind of makes sense because she's a Danish bounty hunter. She's gonna be hunting in the snow and in the shadows, so she really doesn't want to stick out like a sore thumb wearing reds and greens and oranges. But then again, when you think of someone like Genji, who's a cyborg ninja, I mean, ninjas also are hunting in the shadows, and even he has a sick design. So like, I don't know, when it comes to design, it's really not the end of the world that she doesn't really pop out like the rest of the characters. I mean, shoot, if we really want to nitpick Freya's design, then we should also nitpick Ana's design, who has a similar silhouette with that long cape, dull, boring colors. The only distinct feature about her is the missing eye, but there's a really sick backstory behind that with the Widow 1v1, and she's also just a beloved character, so you're not really gonna see a lot of people hate on Ana compared to the new character Freya. But I really just need to stress and remind y'all that this is just her default skin. It's not like 95% of you even use the default skin, and especially when that Doki Watch skin comes out, oh, everyone's gonna be loving Freya. But besides the poorly designed hero that I think is the main critique that people have for Freya, I think most of the people share the same sentiment around playing with the new hero, and that is, she's a lot of fun. She's a hard character, super hard character, but she is so fun and satisfying to play with. Like, the best way I can summarize Freya is if you gave Genji a bow and arrow, something that we really have never seen before and can't really ever imagine up until Freya released. Hey, wait a minute.
Come on now, dawg.
All jokes aside, though, she mixes the agile abilities of Genji with the precision accuracy of Widowmaker, which is just a recipe for disaster for bad Overwatch players. Besides her look, if you also hate Freya because of how she actually plays, this is a hero that you're gonna have to play a lot more of. And, well, now she's gone, so you can't practice her anymore. But in your first game, you're gonna do awful with her. But every single passing game, you're just gonna get a wee bit better with her. You're gonna learn that the dash actually resets your secondary bolt, and that's where you're gonna find out that that's where you get most of your damage is from your take aim secondary bolt, and that's when you're actually gonna realize, hey, I need to practice aiming with this character and not just rely on spamming with the primary fire, because the primary fire is complete cheeks. It does such little damage and it's so inaccurate. But then in the next game, you're gonna find out, hey, wait a minute, you actually have bloom when you use your primary fire, and you could have figured this all out before you even hopped in your first game with Freya if you watched my beginner's guide for the brand new hero. But I'm not trying to promote my new video. I'm trying to talk about the brand new hero and my thoughts on her. And my thoughts on her, well, I'm gonna sound like a broken record. She's a fun hero that is just so hard. You really gotta be on top of managing your cooldowns while also being extremely accurate with your take aim secondary fire. And for some people, it's just too overwhelming. And that's okay, because especially recently, we've never really had a hero where you gotta manage both at such high levels. Like, if you have trash aim just in general, point blank, you're gonna do awful with Freya. Whether it's your secondary secondary fire or even your primary fire, you're not gonna get the damage that she could actually dish out. But even if you waste your cooldowns, like if you're just dashing for mobility purposes, you're also missing out on potential damage with her. But this is where the art of Freja really comes in, where you can dash around corners and shoot your bolts, or if someone's diving, you can dash away while spamming your bolt on like the Winston or the Diva or the Malga or whatever, and it's so satisfying to land those secondary fire shots. She is so fun to handle, but at times it does seem she's just a little bit clunky, and this is where some of the problems that I found out when playing with Freja really reared their ugly head. The first issue is that she just doesn't really do enough damage, or maybe not enough damage, but rather just quick damage, and that just kind of falls under the issue of not really knowing her place. Like, is she a sniper? Well, not really, because she kind of gets beat by Widowmaker and Ashe, because if you snipe one of those characters with your take aim bolt, by the time the arrow actually hits you, you're just gonna hide around the corner, it'll explode, and you won't die. Versus Widowmaker, she'll instantly headshot you. Versus Ashe, she can quick two-head tap you from long distances. So at long range, I think she gets beat. At close range, she definitely gets beat by like a Tracer or a Genji, because you just can't, you just get lost when trying to dash away, trying to find the orange or green character. It's too overwhelming. Well, that's just the first issue, is not really knowing her place, which again could be chalked up to a skill issue. The second issue that I found so many people complain about and so many people suggest a solution is the slowdown mechanic. Every time you use your take aim, secondary fire ability, you always slow yourself down for a couple of seconds, whether you're in the air or on the ground. Now, it's a really cool mechanic, and I'll come up with a solution that we can improve upon it, because I do not want to go away, but I just kind of find it ironic that she's a hero that's all about agility, and then you have a mechanic that just instantly slows you down, taking all that momentum away. And the third problem that I saw so many people talk about is her lackluster ultimate. This thing sucks. I don't know how else to say it. Like, I kind of see it like a toned down Tracer bomb. Like, yeah, you can latch multiple people with it, and the whole idea is not to necessarily get kills or damage, but rather just slow people down. So you can even say it's like a toned down Zarya ult, but man, it just, it pains me to use it sometimes. Now, you do get it fairly quickly, not only just based on ultimate charge, but also because of her passive, where after the third final blow, you get 25 charge. So I guess that, in a sense, solves that issue, where it's like, okay, yeah, the ultimate sucks, but you get it so often that you can kind of just waste it. But when it comes to her other issues, most notably with her take aim slowdown mechanic, an easy solution that I saw so many people suggest is to move it from your secondary fire to the jump button. Similar to how Mercy's passive works, where you just hold down her jump button and you just fall down slowly, I think if you have actual control of the slowdown mechanic rather than it just being forced upon you, would make her feel a lot more fluid and more in control of Freja. You get to actually choose when you want to slow down, because like I said before, it's a cool mechanic, it's actually helpful, but for it to happen every single time and then for it to go away after a couple of seconds is so frustrating, and especially on the ground, where I do not want to slow down while on the ground. If you need it for balancing purposes, okay, whatever, but my god, like, this would make her so much of a better hero and more fun. But then when it comes to the other issue that I mentioned before, most notably with her damage, I honestly think just upping the direct impact damage from 40 to like 50, maybe even 55, that way you get like 100 or 110 headshot damage, would make her actually feel like a sniper rather than just kind of a spam heavy hero. And while you're at it, maybe increase the amount of arrows it takes for Bloom to actually affect. Right now it's like around 3 or 4, maybe make it 6 or maybe even 7. But the whole goal is not to make her an easier character, it's to make her a more fun and fluid hero, because again, no one's gonna be top 500 level with her besides me right out the gates. You need to practice with her. She's not easy like Hanzo, where you can just spam down a corridor and maybe you'll get a lucky headshot, because honestly, if you do, it doesn't matter, because they're just gonna hide away and get protected and heal up. But I really do think that if you get aggressive with her, if you're dashing forward into the enemy and using those bolts and just pushing them back, I think that's where she's really gonna shine. Now, will she be a meta hero? I don't think so. And not just because I don't think that she will bring value to the team, but rather I don't think enough people will have enough time with her at the beginning of Season 16. But towards the end of Season 16, when the aggressive players find out how good she really can be, that's who's, I think, gonna make her a meta hero. People that have confidence with her, that have great aim with her, can manage the cooldowns, those are gonna be the players that will be extremely deadly with her. But until that happens, let me know what you think about Freja, and if you think she's gonna be the best or worst hero of all time. Until then, I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Overwatch 2 videos to come, and bye.